breaking right now.
Breaking news, a fire.
There are 2 fires still raging.
We're looking at some live pictures. I'm told this is from the Lake Arrowhead area.
The slide fire and the Grass Valley fire.
On October 22, 2007, the residents of the Southern California's San Bernardino mountain community were evacuated as 2 devastating wildfires consumed their homes. These fires were soon called the Grass Valley and Slide fires, and together consumed over 350 homes and scorched upwards of 14,000 acres of land. The Grass Valley fire started at about 5 o'clock a.m., 1 mile northwest of the city of Lake Arrowhead. It burned in a southern direction until around 8:30 a.m., when it reached a dense population of homes. These fires raged on for days and took over 2,400 firefighters to contain and extinguish. Because of the ferociousness of these flames, and the ones also burning further south, the governor declared a state of emergency and called in firefighters from neighboring states. Most of the residents of Crestline, Blue Jay, Lake Arrowhead, and Running Springs left the mountain only to return to a smoldering mess where their home used to sit.
Absolutely everything had burned. I was looking for anything that had memory, anything that had been given to me by my sons, by my sisters, my family. Some of them were intact, but what I found was a little porcelain box that said sister on the top. And I found all the pieces. There was probably 5 or 6 different pieces that I went looking for. And I finally found the last piece, and I was able to put it back together, sort of. There was a lot of other stuff burned onto it as well, part of the building materials, but I was able to find every single piece, and I could read the word sister on it. I also found what was left of the chain that had a pirate's medallion on it that my son had given me. The box had burned that it had been in, and the medallion melted. So all I had left was the chain, but it was recognizable. I knew exactly what that was from. That meant an awful lot to me.
As the fire burned, the only people that were allowed to pass the blockades and access the mountain were emergency personnel and news reporters.
Because I was working with a local on the news crew, so I was able to come back up that Monday morning that the fire started to actually see what happened a little bit later in the afternoon to the neighborhood. Pretty much all of this was on fire and actually gone by that time. Yeah, all I could see was gas pipes that were still blowing, because the gas lines were still on, and telephone wires and things like that were either broken off or just hanging in the street, pretty much everywhere in this area. So all the way down to the lake, all the way up here, everything was just burnt.
FEMA and other organizations did what they could for the people who lost their homes, but for some, time was the only way they could heal.
As I come back today, I even brought a piece of the building materials that had melted together that I've hung on to all these years. And I'm willing to let it go now. I'm ready to bring it back here and leave it with the rest of the building materials that are still left here and let it go. It's time to let it go. It's been 7 years and I've healed. It took me a long time to cope with it and to move on, but I believe I have done that now. And so coming back today is my way of saying goodbye and moving on to the future. It no longer traumatizes me to think about it. I've been able to put it to rest, and I'm grateful for that.